Okay folks, so here we are at the Alvey factory with the legendary Bruce Alvey. Thank you very much, Bruce. Good to see you again. So Bruce, run us through a bit about some of the different reels and some of the advantages of the different reels.
Alright, Skip, this is our latest model. So this is the Stealth, which has reduced the weight by about 300 grams of the equivalent in the normal graphite series.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing.
So this is, it has titanium handle screws, and you can see it's got a carbon fibre handle plate, and both the back and the spool are made from probably the most high-tech injection moulded carbon structured material you can get.
Okay.
The reel has also fitted with carbon fibre washers in the drag, which what the advantage is on these is it doesn't matter how tight the drag is, it's just a smooth, there's no uptake, it just
it's not pulling.
There's no shutters or anything, it just goes.
So that could potentially save you a very big fish,
yes.
Be a mulloway or a big Spanish off the beach.
Because depending how well lubricated you keep your drag, yes, you could have a bit of extra pressure to start with before the clutch gives. So, yes. But with the carbon fibre, you don't get that.
Right.
It just goes smoothly.
Fantastic. Okay. And the vented back.
Yes, vented back, which all allows when you're washing any sand out, and the vented spool, it washes straight through and ready to go.
Fantastic.
Silent drag, so it does lock backwards.
Oh yes.
And then, as we showed before, when a fish takes line, the handle plate stays still and the spool goes. So the fish is taking line off you, and then as soon as he slows, then away you go.
Fantastic. Well folks, make sure you get one up on your mates and get one of those very soon. I know I look forward to using it this beach season. So, okay, Bruce, run us through some of the other reels and drags and models, if you don't mind. I know that the lettering system has changed a little bit.
Yes. Now, this one is is called a Rockhopper 65 GD. So that means it's direct wind and a graphite back.
Yes. So the G is the graphite back, and the D is the direct wind. With essentially the direct wind, the handles on the reel, Bruce?
Yeah.
Yes.
And this one also has rapid retrieve. So it's got direct wind, and if you miss a fish, you can use this one, and it's amazing the difference between winding with your arm as against winding with your wrist. Gives you about 30% increase in retrieve rate.
Yeah.
Now the Rockhoppers, the advantage of these, they do have a drag when it's turned on. So there's a drag there, but you have positive wind, and if a big fish takes line off you, depending what clutch pressure you've got that at, the fish will take line, but the handles go back with it.
Yes.
So you can, if a big fish hit it, you would literally take your hands off, let the fish go. If you need more pressure, you just add pressure to the spool. It's probably a bit dangerous to go trying to change the drag pressure on the reel while the fish is on. So using your hand, you would normally set that to probably half your breaking strain of your line.
Yep.
So you know you're well covered.
Fantastic.
So that's the advantage, but you've got the positive wind. If you've got a big fish on a rock face and you want to lift him, you can literally just crank the hell out of him and lift him up the rock face.
Fantastic. Great, Bruce. Now, we've got a different sort of drag system again, Bruce. So
yes, we'll look at this is a 6000 GVCR. So that's a 6-inch graphite back, vented, C-type and rapid retrieve.
Right. So the R's for rapid retrieve, folks, the V's vented?
Yep. So the model numbers all, once you know the code, you can work out what it is. So you're back to same wind there is normal hand wind for full power. But if you miss a fish and want to get your rig back in quickly,
You've got the
wrist
rapid
winding
retrieve.
there, and you can. It's amazing how much quicker you can get in. Now these ones here, when that locks, the spool just goes backwards against whatever you set your drag pressure at.
Okay.
So again, though, if the fish is running and you want to put more pressure on rather than muck around with that, you're probably safer to just add a bit on with your palm pressure on the spool.
So why are there different types of drags, Bruce? So you've got the stars and you've got this...
Well, the C is probably, this type is definitely you would recommend to somebody that's not an experienced fisherman. I mean, there's lots of experienced fishermen use them as well.
Yeah.
But it sort of pretty much takes over the running of the reel.
Yes.
If you set whatever you set the drag pressure at, when you're fishing, as soon as the fish exceeds that, that takes over.
Yes.
And leave it. And you've got a ratchet warning button on the back as well, so you can have that as a set line.
Yep.
And again, if a fish takes line off, it will warn you that it's taken.
I know. I love using those in the boat, Bruce, sort of fishing for whiting or other species, and having that drag on. Yeah, you soon know you've got a fish on. So.
No, but the big advantage is the reel does it all for you. Whereas, say, the rock hopper, there's still an element of skill from the angler to control the fish.
Yep.
Whereas this one, if you set the drag, pretty much the reel will do everything you want for it afterwards.
Okay, great.
Then the most basic reel after that is you come back to your straight direct wind reels, which we've all grown up on over the years. And that's your Surf 60G, which is basically just your plain light surf graphite back.
Very simple, great for whiting.
Nothing in it to go wrong.
Brim.
Got ratchet.
Doesn't get much better noise than that.
Tensioning device is just basically for when you finish fishing and you put your rigs up to tighten it up so it doesn't come undone.
Yep.
Or if you were leaving it in a rod holder with your warning device on, and then it'll
provide a bit of tension.
But again, this is the same thing. You just crank the fish with the handles, and again though, with this you've got no option. If you want to let the fish run, you've got to put palm.
Beautiful.
But one of the advantages of Albies, which a lot of the club fishermen love, is you can actually wind backwards.
Yes.
So if you've got very timid whiting that are just playing around with the bait and you're not sure what they're going to do,
Yep.
a lot of times it is
Feed
a real advantage to be able to wind backwards, let the line, but you're still feeling the fish because you're with an Alvie, you feel either through your finger guiding the line or your handles. You can feel every little bite that comes through.
Absolutely. I'm sure it's caught a lot more fish than would have been possible if you had those reverse points.
Even those most basic reels, they're one of the most popular for all the experienced club anglers.
Yes.
They use the one that you're in total control of the fish. That's it.
I know and love them well, Bruce. So, and then of course we've got some of the latest and greatest of the orbiters.
Yeah. So this is our first foray into the spinning reel size, the second biggest. And again, these everyone has been very impressed with the quality of the reels and the build. And yeah, they're just ultra smooth. The clutch pressure for again, it's all carbon washers in them, very smooth, but quite powerful drags for the size reels they are.
Absolutely.
And just ultra smooth.
Absolutely. I compared too, Bruce. I got online and checked some of the drags versus other reels that size, and it was not surprising that the Alvie was much stronger. And I recently saw in Queensland Fishing Monthly magazine this month, so they did some test comparisons of the reels, and in terms of the fishing capabilities and feel for the anglers, where they combine both, the Orbiter come out on top for reels around that $200 range. So that did not surprise me one iota.
No, it's been, look, they've been tested in America and here, and I think yourself has even
Yes,
tried one out.
yes, absolutely
And
love it.
look, every report has just been they're a good little reel and good quality, and the service guys in America and here that have looked at it, our guy Tony here's put a number down and checked the ones that have been out on loan, and
Yes.
he was most impressed with the inside. There was no deterioration and whatever. So just need a
Absolutely.
bit of a clean up because they are still a spinning reel. You
Yes.
can't treat them like a side cast.
Yeah.
You just got to look after them a little bit,
Yep.
and don't stick them in salt water and sand particularly.
Yeah.
But which sand is the bane of everyone's life, no
Yeah.
matter what sort of reel you've got.
Exactly. So absolutely beautiful reels, and I can definitely vouch for those things. I absolutely love mine. Fantastic. So there we are. Thank you very much, Bruce. And there's, looking at we have some multiple different colours reels. You can even get some engraving on the reels yourself now.
I don't know whether these ones have got it on or not.
And of course, being the centenary this year, keep an eye out. There's been some
On
cedar
the back
reels.
of those, so that's a Nissan Navara one, but you can send in your own name and even a photo and have your own official titles and everything put on it.
Well, that's what a great way for a birthday present or a special birthday or something like that. So
One gentleman down at the tackle show, I don't know if you were there, and he said, well, he put his wife's photo on it so he could tell her that he'd be thinking of her the whole time he was out fishing.
well, that's
I'm not sure whether that works.
yeah. But I'll pay that one and credit to the gentleman. So yes, and there we have a bunch of the other fantastic Albie
accessories,
products.
And look, the wading bags, while a lot of people use them, there's a lot don't. The big advantage is that we were taught when you're fishing, you have the rod and reel in your hand. You don't
Yes.
put it in a rod holder. And
Yes,
now,
yes.
There is certain instances, say fishing for big tailor at night, yes,
Yep.
they leave it as a set bait. But
Yep.
most times if you're fishing the beaches,
Yeah.
the first one we're taught is fish before you walk.
Yep.
So always throw in and have a fish on the edge before you go wading
Yes.
in up to your past your knees
Yep.
and have a fish. But with a wading bag, you've got your fish ruler, you can have your worm pliers, a knife with you, bit of tackle, and then if you catch fish, they go in the bag as well. And then you only walk back up to your pack on the beach or back up to even your four-wheel drive
Yes.
when you've got too many fish in
Yeah.
and want to empty them out.
And I must say too, Bruce, fishing at Fraser at night, particularly when some four-wheel drives are coming, we always, take precaution. But one of the things I do is swing the bag around,
Yeah,
and so that
nice reflector.
that reflects very well on the four-wheel drive lights, and so they see you when it makes it clearly. So there's another sort of little tip. So, and of course we got the Yabby pumps again,
Yes.
made here in the
They're
factory,
made
Bruce,
here. Yep.
and the sieve, great for high tide if you want to pump some yabbies,
Yes.
and you can just run a bit of pool noodle around that,
Yes.
and
A string round to your leg, and away you go.
and pump away in the at the high tide. So everything you need and more. So thank you again.
Over in the corner there, for those that don't
Ah,
remember, that's
yes.
a creel. So when people say it's the Albie reel that fills a creel, that's what people are talking about.
That's the one, all right. Well, thank you very much, Bruce, for your time and everything, and best wishes in the difficult climate out there for things ahead.
Thank you, Skip, for coming up.
Cheers, thanks, mate. Bye.